Keep listening if you're a Christian man or woman who wants a free 90-second coaching session. This is a concept I use with my one-on-one clients, and I know it will benefit you as well. But first, go ahead and hit the like button and be sure you're following so you don't miss future videos. The concept I want to give you as a Christian man or woman is that you are not your ego, okay? Something you need to understand about the ego is it is a attachment to your thoughts, your feelings, your desires, okay? God has given you desires, and He has given you desires for things you don't have. If you are a single Christian and you want to have sex, that desire is not bad. That desire is from God. If you're a single Christian and you want to get more money or be ambitious, grow in your career, all these kinds of things, those are not sinful, evil desires. They can lead to sinful things, but they are not sinful and evil desires. The problem with these desires, one of the problems, is when we begin to identify with them. Okay, so your identification with your feelings, not just I am feeling anxious or I am feeling greed or I am feeling a sex drive, but I am lustful, I am greedy, I am anxious. When you identify with your feelings, that is what produces this thing we call the ego. The ego is your identification with those things, which is why when we talk about men who stereotypically have big egos, it's because they identify with things like success and performance and being right. And so when you challenge those things, you're not just challenging their rightness or their performance, you're challenging them because they identify with those things. That's why we say they have a big ego, okay? So the lesson is you are not your ego. When you start to realize that, you can begin to preach truth to yourself like David does in the Psalms, and you can address yourself. The part of you that addresses yourself is the real you. The yourself that you're addressing is this misalignment, this ego that's been created through your identification with your feelings, which are not you. So whenever you notice pride popping up or fear popping up, and this scarcity, tightness, this desire to be defensive, this desire to be greedy, this desire to rush, something that moves you from your peace, 9 times out of 10, it is your ego, it is your identification with the feeling. Not just the feeling, but your identification with it. And in those moments, here's what I want you to say. Thank you, ego, but you can rest now. Jesus is enough. The origin of your ego is actually a good thing. It's meant to keep you alive. It's meant to keep you safe. But because of the fall of man and the corruption of sin, the ego has been corrupted as well. And through Christ, we don't need it anymore. That's the beauty of the gospel. There's no room for your ego in that. Whenever you identify the ego for what it is, you put a label on it, you are now able to step outside of the whirlwind of your emotions and address that which is not you, that which is not a part of your newness and wholeness in Christ. And you can look at that ego and you can say, hey, thank you for trying to keep me safe. Thank you for trying to keep me abundant and happy and secure. But you can rest now. Jesus is enough. And I know that may sound really simple, but when you understand the concept behind it and you believe in it and you believe that Jesus can be enough, your ego will start to learn that and it will start to rest, giving you much more peace and confidence.